Hi friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we have to discuss about Java program to implement multi-level inheritance. It is one type of inheritance. Before going to the implementation of multi-level inheritance, first of all, we have to know the basic concepts like what is inheritance, what is the advantage of inheritance, what are the types of inheritance. Inheritance is one of the most important object-oriented concept. Inheritance is the process by which one class acquires the properties from another class. The class which inherits the properties is called as derived class or a child class or a subclass. The class from which the derived class inheriting the properties is called as base class or a parent class or a superclass. The main advantage of inheritance is code reusability. Whatever the properties that are exist in the base class, that properties are inherited by the derived class without writing the properties of the base class in the derived class. Simply by using the inheritance concept, we have to use that properties of the base class by the derived class. For that purpose, we have to use extends keyword. Okay, so this is the main advantage of code reusability. That is the main advantage of inheritance concept. There are 5 types of inheritance. First one is single inheritance. Second one is multi-level inheritance. Third one is multiple inheritance. Fourth one is hierarchical inheritance. Fifth one is hybrid inheritance. Now, so this is the single inheritance diagram. So here in the single inheritance, only one base class and only one derived class exists. This derived class B inheriting the properties from the base class A by using the extends keyword. Okay, simply we can say that in the case of single inheritance, only one base class and one derived class exists. That derived class can inheriting the properties from the base class by using the extends keyword. Next one. Now we can go for multi-level inheritance. In the case of multi-level inheritance, it includes the involvement of at least 2 or more than 2 classes. Here, how many number of classes are there? 3 classes are there. In the case of multi-level inheritance, more than 2 classes may be included. Okay, here one class inheriting the properties from base class. Now this class becomes the base class for the another new class, that is C. Okay, first class B can be called as derived class. This derived class B can inheriting the properties from base class A. Now this derived class B becomes the base class whenever class C is the derived class. This derived class C can inheriting the properties from the base class B. Okay, so we can say that multi-level inheritance includes the involvement of at least 2 or more than 2 classes. one class here, that is class B, one class inheriting the properties from base class. Again, this class becomes the base class whenever another class C inheriting the properties from base class B. So this is called as multi-level inheritance. Okay. So here class A can be called as base class, class C can be called as derived class, class B can be called as intermediate class. This intermediate class can behaves like as base class or a derived class. By considering these two classes, class B is the derived class, class A is the base class. By considering these two classes, class B is the base class, class C is the derived class. So, in one context, class B can be act as base class. In one context, class B can be act as derived class. Hence, we can say that class B can be called as intermediate class. It can be act as both base class and derived class. Now, we can go for the description. So this is the multi-level inheritance includes the involvement of at least two or more than two classes. One class inherits the features from a base class and the newly created class becomes the base class for another class, another new class. This is the syntax of multi-level inheritance. Class base. Here we have to take two derived classes. Class derived 1 extends base. At that time, derived 1 can be called as derived class. Base is called as base class. Next, class derived 2 extends derived 1. At that time, derived 2 can be called as derived class. Derived 1 can be called as base class. Okay, so derived 1 can be called as intermediate class. It can be act as both base class and derived class. And derived 2 can be called as derived class. Base can be called as base class. This is the syntax of multi-level inheritance. Now we can go for the program. Once we are knowing the concept of multi-level inheritance, it is easy to write the program. Class base. In that base class, we have to write one method void display. Void display. In that method, we have to write system dot out dot println. It is base class. Next one, we have to create another class, class derived 1 extends base. That means derived 1 class can extend the properties from the base class. Here I am writing one more method void show. In that method I am writing system dot out dot println. This is intermediate class or derived 1 class. There is no problem at all. Derived 1 class over our intermediate class. Intermediate class. Next, I am creating another class derived 2 extends derived 1. So derived 2 class can inheriting the properties from derived 1 class. Whatever the properties that are present in the derived 1 class that are hidden in the derived 2 class. In the same way, derived 1 class extends the base class. Whatever the properties that are present in the base class that are inherited into the derived 1 class that are hidden in the derived 1 class. Here I am writing one more method, void appear. Here I am writing system dot out dot println derived 2 class over our derived class. Now we can go for the main class. So class multi-level inheritance demo. Multi-level inheritance demo. This is the main class. We have to write main method here. Public static void main string arguments. Now we have to create the object for the last derived class. What is the last derived class? Derived 2 class. So that we have to create the object for the last derived class. So derived 2 OB is equal to new derived 2. By using this object, we can access the methods of the base class and a derived 1 class and a derived 2 class. So this is ob dot display. This is the base class method. ob dot show. This is the derived 1 class method. ob dot appear. This one. Then we have to close main method. We have to close the class. Okay. So what class derived 2 extends derived 1, whatever the properties that are present in the derived 1 are inherited into the derived 2 class that are hidden in the derived 2 class. Now we have to create the object for the derived 2 class in the main method. Okay, so derived 2, this is the class name, this is the object name, is equal to new is operator that is used for allocating the memory for the object OB, and derived 2 is the constructor, open parenthesis close parenthesis is the constructor. Okay, so by using this object we can access the base class method, we can access the derived one class method, we can access the derived two class method. Okay, whenever we are accessing the base class method ob.display, then this is printed. Okay, whenever we are accessing the ob.show method, so this is printed derived two class or derived class. Next, whenever we are accessing ob.appear, then this is printed derived two class or derived class. This is printed. Okay, so this is the multi-level inheritance program. So here in this program, so at least two, that means more than two classes are exist. So here base is one class, derived one is one class, derived two is one class. Total three classes are exist. Okay. So base is nothing but base class. Derived one class can be act as intermediate class. In one context, it can act as base class. In another context, it can be act as derived class. And derived two becomes the derived class. We have to create the object for the derived two class. By using that object, we can access the base class method, derived one class method, derived two class method. Because by using the inheritance concept, whatever the methods that are present in the base class and a derived one class that are inherited to derived two class, that are hidden in the derived two class, we can access that method. We have to create the object. By using that object, we can call the all the methods of the derived two class that are hidden. So this is the multi-level inheritance concept. Now we have to save this program. Save as multi-level inheritance demo. Multi-level inheritance demo.java. Now the program is successfully compiled. Then we have to run this program, compile this program. So javac multi-level inheritance demo.java. Yes, the program is successfully compiled. Now we have to run this program. Java multi-level inheritance demo. Now we have got this output. Base class, derived one class, ORR intermediate class, derived two class, ORR derived class. So this is the implementation of multi-level inheritance program. Now we can go for the program. So this is the program. Thank you one and all for watching this video. If you like this video, please share this video to your friends and classmates. If you really like this video, please give your valuable suggestions in the comment section. I will clarify your doubts. Please subscribe my YouTube channel Divvela Srinivasarao and click on the bell icon to get the future updates in my YouTube channel Divvela Srinivasarao. In the previous video, we are already discussed a single inheritance with example program. If anybody wants, please refer that video. Thank you one and all for watching this video.